Good afternoon, Link to the Past Randomizer League 2, and welcome to Open Week. If you were sick of Cross Keys, well, Cross Keys is done until playoffs, and we're into Open now. We have a hype matchup today between the first and second place teams sorry, I don't have the division right in front of me, but we have Last Locationeers and yet another bonk. For Last Locationeers, we have ScottishBrave44, and for yet another bonk, we have Gr1nk. So this is going to be a great matchup today. I think, I don't remember the division, but I'm Radical Sniper 9 and 99, and today I'm joined by Plasma Steak. How's it going?
Not at all. Looking forward to the match.
Apparently, the clarification is that we are in the Castle Tower division. So yes, these two teams are our first and second place teams. Not far behind, we do have two teams tied at 21 points with Clown Routing 101 and Spaceballs, the rando team, both at 21 after last week. So a lot of activity at the top of this division. Of course, with this being the open league, only the top two teams make the playoffs. So a lot riding on all the matchups left, but especially one such as this with a clash of two top teams.
Well, that just makes it more exciting.
Exactly. So they should be off momentarily. Of course, this is open mode. So open start, 7-7, defeat Ganon, all that fun stuff. It does appear we're off. We missed a little bit there, but it looks like both runners might have started off with a Sank start.
Yes, given the placements, it looks like it. And we've got an immediate moon pearl there on the bottle merchant.
And we did see at least one bomb for Gr1nk. So on the other hand, Scotch Brave having to go into the back of the tavern, finding 3 bombs. So we'll probably buy bombs on our way out of Kakariko. But for now, at least we have enough to get through the rest of these checks.
This, of course, is always the risk that you take with the Sank start in open. You just hope that you find those bombs or the money for them before you have to leave. Oh, nice mirror.
Yeah, I like to do an uncle start usually for open. See if I can get something nice out of those few checks with the Link's house and uncle and the treasure there, but not necessarily one way is quote unquote better or the right play.
It's one of the joys of open is the differences you've got in your possible starts. Oh, we're finding some good stuff early. We've got Quake in the well, the cape, and we got Gr1nk
Yeah,
finding that all-important bug net.
yeah, unfortunately, capes definitely, and there's the ice rod. Early ice rod is always an appreciated find.
It's a nice set of equipment. It's just not a set of equipment that points you in any particular direction at the start of the game.
Yeah, I'd say the cape is a little worrying early, just because of its aga implications, but we're still missing a bit for that even, requiring at least a sword and a lamp. So not totally that's going to be the play. But we do have the pearl, and even if we could do aga, it's not like we're getting any strong hint that that's going to be the right play, because I think a lot of runners will tell you, I hope to have something additional. Do I have a hammer? Do I have a hook shot, flippers, a glove, just something to also move around Dark World beyond just taking the long walk to pod.
Yes, agreed. That hook shot could be a very clear indication that this is an Agaseed. Or, I mean, it could be hiding there in pod. You never know.
Yeah, and really, we're gonna need at least flippers, hammer, or glove to make use of that hook shot. So see what happens. So Scottish heading out with 6 bombs. So we'll see what that kind of leads to at this point. I'm gonna guess mini Moldorm Cave are the nope. We're getting the Uncle play instead. And I mean, technically, that's enough bombs to get through escape right now.
I mean, the ice rod is a solid weapon in the front of Hyrule Castle. Takes those blue guards out instantly.
Yeah, that's always I feel like that's a fact a lot of people forget about, is that added use for the weapon, but definitely a nice one. But the Uncle play really not giving us anything. I'm not sure if what we saw off of the tree poles. We might see a tier 1 here. Nope. Meanwhile, Gr1nk starting back at Sanctuary. I'm wondering if we're getting a Houlihan here.
That would make sense given the second Zank start.
Yeah, still a little surprising of a play just because of open mode's definitely not one you see a lot of people use Houlihan in.
I suppose we're thinking about a very early Zora play, if that's the case.
Yeah, I mean, given the Moon Pearl, you might think, okay, I can do the fake flipper and get the waterfall chests with the water walk through going in and out of the waterfall. So maybe that's the thought.
Yeah, not a routing choice that is as popular in open as in, say, casual boots, but still fairly solid as an early option.
And there's that ice rod play you had mentioned earlier. So, really conserving those bombs, only needing the one to take out that green guard. And I was hoping maybe Scottish Brave was going to pick up that guard and throw it at ball and chain. I mean, if you're going to use the ice rod, why not go for the lulls there? And only the map in Zelda Cell. So at this point, for all we know, the small key might be in the Dark Cross, but I think you hold off until it becomes a link with Aga.
Yes, no need to rush that particular out of logic check right now.
Yeah, and on the plus side, I mean, we didn't find the small key yet, so definitely a chance. I would have even considered, I don't know, a possible save scum and just saying forget the fact that I even checked the front of escape. And if I want to go back later, if I get the lamp, maybe I re-grab that small key off the first blue guard to get the back of escape in case Dark Cross isn't the small key. Because I don't think we saw... Oh, there's an item though.
Very
Fire
nice.
Rod.
Yes.
So Dark Cross is back in logic.
Absolutely. So now the question is, how long do you put going back to it? Or do you really... Well, you really hope to find the glove first, don't you?
Yeah, I think at this point you almost just wait until it's a known quantity of aga or glove. And there is one of the worst sensation of the frame roll on those mini Moldorms.
Yes, an impressive dodge from both of them. And there's a sword. 2 swords. And both gloves.
Okay, we talk about hype caves, and unfortunately, I don't think hype cave can live up to that anymore. Mini Moldorm cave setting unreal expectations for the rest of any other multi-item cave.
So we both had the setup for an aga play, and then the complete breezing past your aga play with the finding of those Titan bits.
Yeah, there's still some situations that could require it. We do see that, Eastern Palace is one of our 5/6 crystals. So mirror, of course, if we get a lamp and find out that our other 5/6 is fairly available without hammer, we could have theoretically required aga play for the pyramid fairy, but looking less and less likely already.
So unfortunately, we are having some issues with the stream, or Gr1nk is having some issues with the stream. So it's a bit hard to tell how things are going in line with each other at the moment.
We are getting that back of escape play now. And nice bomb refill, our first bottle, and the small key, so we should... Are we gonna... Yep, it looks like ScottishBrave is gonna head back into the front portion, or that Dark Cross area.
Given that you found the bits and you're almost certainly not doing Aghanim anytime soon now, this is the correct time to get that in.
Yeah, and that Master Sword really is going to make this a lot easier play.
Not much reward, but a check out the way.
And I think at this point, we just head into Village of Outcasts. I don't know if we see an early Skull Woods. While it is completely in logic at this point, I think we're going to be a little bit more cautious on trying to approach them off.
I would have full respect for any play that was dive straight into 3 Heart Skull Woods.
I mean, we got a red potion, so that makes it a little better.
Gr1nk showing us that the crab drop is red rupees today, which is quite nice.
Yeah, and in some ways that almost feels... Oh, there we go. So we got pendants at Skull and Thieves, green pendant at Eastern Palace, and Pod is our red crystal. Yeah, unfortunate, I think it's great that you find out that Bush crabs are money, but at the same time, for Gr1nk, you almost feel a little like you've wasted a little bit of time there by going for them, going for the Houlihan.
Yes. This has got to be a great feeling to turn up with the Mitts entrance to the Dark World and have both immediate dungeons being pendant. Never a good setup.
Now, I guess the question becomes, do you make the play deeper into Thieves Town knowing that it is a pendant, even without the hammer? As we do get that's an interesting find. Magic Bat's now in Logic.
Yes, with the mirror. That is an access to Magic Bat that can be forgotten sometimes.
Yeah, and
And
definitely one
pretty
that
obvious.
it's a difficult one to want to do at times because it feels almost like a waste of time because you're deliberately getting rid of your Dark World portal there.
Alright, that was one item at the front, I believe.
And unfortunately, the other piece of this is, of course, that the rest of Thieves Town is fully in Logic right now. That small key in the fourth chest does mean that even Blind is in Logic without the hammer.
So it seems like we're getting a pretty solid choice to leave 3 items at the back of Thieves' Town. With Pendant Thieves' Town, that just makes it more likely you'll come back for something without
Yeah,
wasting your time now.
yeah, I think if I was in this position, I agree. You know, you go through a lot of your Dark World loop, may even knock out Purple Chest and Smith Chain, and then kind of have to make a decision. You know, do I need to go into Skull Woods at now 4 hearts? Do I want to do the back of Thieves Town? Like, I have those options available to me, but let's at least hold off a little while longer.
And with the Finding of Ether there, that gives us a 2/3 chance per Maya and Thieves' Town, Turtle Rock, that we can do them.
Yeah, and that could inform some of our later decision-making process. You know, you talk to a lot of runners, they'll say, oh yeah, if I've found 2 medallions and I'm in go mode besides, I might just skip some of the later checks. You know, oh, left side swamp doesn't exist anymore because I'm gonna just assume I've got the medallions and I don't need bombos.
Ooh, bow on Smith Chain. Very nice.
Yeah, so that is Eastern Palace, so we'll see if we see the Sahasrahla in Eastern play soon.
And Scottish Brave following that powder straight into Magic Bat. For some treasure, but nothing that will get us some progress at this point. As we've got Gr1nk heading round to Ice Rod Cave.
And it does look like Scottish Brave is going to head back into Village of Outcasts. We might see the pickup of the purple chest down to Hype Cave. But I mean, let's be honest, I don't think Hype Cave can live up anymore.
It's been firmly outclassed.
Yeah.
Oh, looks like we're heading up into Skull Woods instead.
Yeah, we might at least get... I don't know if we're going to see a full play to the Moth, but I at least like checking the few items available.
Well-timed fairy pack in the back of School Woods there.
Yeah, special pack really paying out with quite a bit there. Not only getting the fairy, but also a full magic after burning through quite a bit of magic to get rid of both the Gibdos. And we might not be getting the moth play. This could just be to see if we can get a good item out of the front half.
Oh, seeing the drop down to the big chest. Not
Yes.
an entrance I see people use very frequently.
Yeah, I feel like we see that much more often in inverted as a good way to grind out some early bombs. But yeah, we usually don't see its vanilla intended use.
Over on Grink's side, it looks like we are heading towards the fake flippers, towards Zora play. It's a shame the streams aren't managing to keep in line.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I do see a bit of a discussion in chat about it. Definitely one of those things you don't really think about too much, but it's a setting that chat is calling the preserved cutoff point. When you have that enabled, it just continually adds to the delay, and that's kind of why we're seeing this growing difference in time. So, but we are done with Skull Woods for now. It looks like we're going to get to see some of Bumper Ledge. We do have the cape, so this is in logic. And it's just a piece of art. And we did get the fake flipper, it looks like, from Gr1nk's side. We'll see if we can get to see the items off of this.
Yes, there was some rupees on Lake Hylia Island. I always think it's an exciting scene where you see something like required there.
Until flippers are buried, and then you have to consider setting up a fake flipper or a water walk.
Yes.
So Scottish Brave heading back to Village of Outcasts. I'm guessing this is going to be for Purple Chest and the rest of the way to Hype Cave.
Yeah, it looks like trying to get as much out of this entry back into the Dark World as possible all at once.
Yeah, I'd say the only worry here is just being a little, I don't know, over thorough. But I think you can definitely pull that kind of maneuver off in the early game.
Oh, looks like we are ignoring the purple chest, probably to complete dig game at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately, the traditional order here, which, you know, you don't have to do, is dig game, then grab the smith, because then it kind of routes in nicely all together. So I'm gonna guess that maybe Scottish Brave was hoping to get something better off of just the smith. Oh, yep, paradoxical shovel.
Amazing. And we've got the Cane of Burner over on Hobo. Can be a nice little safety when you're 23 minutes in and you've only got 4 hearts still.
Yeah, I mean, we've got both invincibility items, so definitely ones of varying purpose. I think by the time you get to Master Sword, Burna does have a bit added benefit, just because you can still you can slash with that. Um, I think on Fighter Sword, there's always that thought of, well, if I have to do spins to damage something such as a boss, having Cape is nicer, even though it drains more magic.
We're getting a look at K45 for a piece of heart, which is left exactly where it was.
I might have picked that up just given our current situation. You know, no extra mail upgrades, still on 4 hearts, and going a lot around Dark World. This is not exactly the most comfortable situation.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'd probably have grabbed that as well. But brave is in the name.
And I
Finding
do.
of that.
Oh,
Sorry,
sorry.
go ahead.
I was about to say, I just have to shout out the fact that Brave was, um, thought to re-grab that purple chest. Sometimes it's easy to forget that talking to Stumpy does cause you to not have the purple chest with you. So could have easily left it behind.
Yes, and that shovel on dig game quite nicely rooted itself in here. Ooh, temple sword.
Definitely a very comfortable feeling to have that already. We'll see if we get anything out of the waterfall cave. Um, Definitely some things that could be there or on Zora that really help us out.
I've got a full heart and a bottle and 300 rupees. Not that hammer, which I know I'd have been hoping for in Hype Cave.
Yeah, that would have been a great way to just continue on to Palace of Darkness. I think what we might be getting is mirroring here by the pegs to get to Pod area, to then clear Sahasrara and Eastern Palace, though.
And hopefully we'll get to see what Zora's got for us. Oh, hello.
Wow. Okay, so
Boots on Zora.
even though we have a bit of a difference in the total time spent, that means at least 15 minutes, you know, that Gr1nk has boots that we know Scottish Brave will not.
That's got to be feeling pretty good. Doing an early Zora check for something worthwhile is not very common.
Yeah, and I feel like boots would have been the item that sends you there sooner.
Well, if there was anything in in King's Tomb, unfortunately we've missed it.
Well, we get the Bonk rocks there with a piece of heart, so...
Boot's not immediately paying out, but this still could be very big if Desert is boot locked.
And Gr1nk heading up the mountain now, so really a major divergence here. We're going to get to see the mountain play, and that's a jump. Gr1nk now in Tower of Hera.
Suddenly, Hera basement. Which I believe we saw the big key coming out of the basement chest there.
And it looks like we have a book as well, so we definitely missed some things, as well as Bombos medallion. And there's a crystal for Gr1nk. 19 minutes in. We at least saw the crystal get.
Maybe the times are going to even out a little bit here.
Yeah, blink and you'll miss that Gr1nk is just clearing everything immediately. And apparently we saw a very quick play, and we're now at 27 minutes into Gr1nk's and entering Desert Palace. I wonder what we might have gotten in that start from Sanctuary.
Yes, I'd expect, given our position here, that the book was on the mountain somewhere.
Yeah, I glanced over to Gr1nk's stream, and looks like they might have also beaten Mothula in that time, so could be at a pendant as well, as Scottish Brave does enter the Armos fight.
Silver's on the Armos Knights.
So that is a bow-locked bow, so we will definitely be getting silvers today.
And we're heading out to Sahasrahla now. It's looking pretty healthy back there.
Yeah, the couple of heart containers we're being able to find really are a nice little addition. You know, not at all progression, but it's just the ability to say, I feel a little more comfortable.
I don't think we managed to see where the Desert was boot locked. Definitely the big key was over on the right side. But I didn't see where the small key was.
Yeah, I missed that as well, unfortunately.
Looks like we're heading to the back of Skullwood from Scottish Brave. Seemingly a little bit reluctant to go up to Death Mountain out of logic.
Yeah, under the advanced item logic set, if rooms have torches, they can technically be in logic with just the fire rod, but you have to be able to get like the rooms have to all have that torch. And Aga Tower, while having some torch rooms that you can light, not all of them do, and that's why it is not in logic with just a fire rod.
And that is our second confirmed crystal for Gr1nk, with one pendant on Moth as well. It's interesting that the runners have taken clearly very different routes that have paid out very differently. That bow on Smith Chain has led very nicely into the eastern play, whereas the out of logic mountain has led to Heroin Desert.
Yeah, and really, I think the big advantage here still is just Gr1nk having found the boots that early off of doing the fake flipper to Zora area. I feel very wrong for saying that the Houlihan didn't pay out, because in reality it was massive with the money it gave to be able to do Zora that early.
And that was a piece of heart on Moth for the pendant. But nothing yet to put our Death Mountain play into logic.
Yeah, and the more we go at this, I feel like what we're gonna find is that the play might just be thieves.
It would be whether the play for thieves leads you to the lamp or the flute, I think would be the big thing there. If, of course, it's Death Mountain that is behind Thieves Town.
Yeah, I don't know if we really got anything too progressive on Death Mountain, so my feeling is that it's going to be... I mean, the flute would be nice just for the Mire area play as well. Although we are seeing Gr1nk into Aga Tower with a lamp, so we've definitely missed something. This could be the play to pod.
Now, there's a few different ways you can enter the pod area without needing to do Agnes Tower if the hammer is behind them. But it seems like we've gone for the expected route, perhaps logically here. See, one boss tablet from Scottish Brave.
Yeah, and the question in chat, have we seen Lumberjack? We have not. There's very possible that Gr1nk did check it and knows that this is a required Aga play. So I don't think Gr1nk would be doing Aga unless this is a required play here.
Yes, quite possibly.
Just because, I think there's a lot better ways to make that pod play at this point. If the desire is to go to Palace of Darkness, I feel like Gr1nk would be more likely to have done a water walk from Skull Woods, or even a Kern jump.
Yes, with the boots find, quite easily done. It looks like we've just seen the small key on Scottish Brave's side, so not boot locked. Which pushes back when we might see that Zora play from Scottish.
Yeah, there is our big key, so definitely not.
And that's the wizard down, giving us our access to the pod region. So where are we going to go from here then?
Well, we are not seeing the save and quit, so at least checking the pyramid. Maybe we see a play up to catfish.
I'd be surprised if we saw a pod play, given lack of bow on Gr1nk's side. Yeah, here we go, up to catfish.
Yeah, and this is kind of a last location for Gr1nk in some regards. Definitely a very hard play to make, given that we've seen the rest of this area, although we are seeing... Okay, so I guess we're going to buy a potion. I don't think we found the... Yeah, I don't think we found the mushroom yet, so this is just a play for a potion.
Alright, let's see what the other fish has got for us today. It's some health. Quite gratefully received, with only 5 hearts at this point. And Gr1nk remembering there to mirror back to the light world before saving and quitting. I will admit, having fought Aghanim, I always get that wrong when you've got the mirror.
Yeah, that one's an easy one to forget, and I think we've all done it at least a few times in a race and go, oh yeah! And Gr1nk heading right up to the lumberjack, so this is something. Question is what?
And over on ScottishBrave's side, we've got the death of Lanmo there, so that's bringing both up to 2 crystals. Flippers is what we've got on Lumberjack.
And those are definitely required, as we need them for Swamp Palace.
Logically, I think this is very interesting, because while I know that Zora is in logic with the gloves and not the flippers, it's not a place you ever want to go just walking there.
Yeah, and that's definitely going to be the hard part for Scottish Brave here is, you know, the flippers being boots locked and the boots being on Zora. These are like two very... This is a very specific case where the reluctance to want to go to do Zora is only going to come back and hurt harder. And it's an understandable reluctance, because honestly, who likes to do that kind of play?
It looks like we might be heading in that direction, though.
Yeah, and I think part of it is, you know, seeing the lamp there, and I think we've done pretty much every in-logic check for Scottish Brave at this point. So I think the seed is pretty much screaming, yeah, you need boots or something.
Yeah, Zora is the place to go. We've got Gr1nk catching up on some of the Village of Outcasts checks. Gr1nk apparently not having been to the village at all yet.
Yeah, and we'll have to see how Scottish Brave approaches, you know, getting those boots. Do we see a quick play over to back to desert? You know, when do you want to go back to desert to get the lamp? Or was it in desert?
I didn't see it, actually. Although it,
Desert Torch was the lamp, so
yeah, I mean, it's
that's
quite possible that that doesn't get picked up, depending on how confident Scottish is with the dark rooms.
yeah, I feel, we get the boots here, there's a good chance you check Bonk and King, and then the question is, you check out the lumberjack, and depending on comfort level, I almost feel like you're gonna feel really bad having to go back for that lamp. And unfortunately, Grink going to try to powder the anti or the bunny beam there. Unfortunately, you cannot powder a moving bunny beam.
Oh, today I learned. It looks like we are getting the back of Thieves' Town play from Gr1nk. I mean, these runners must have more or less cleared a lot of what's available to them so far.
Yeah, I mean, the flippers does give us pod access, but I definitely understand the play here into Thieves Town. We're kind of just, especially for Grink not having the bow, which might, lead him to wanting to go there.
I would imagine we see Smith Chain after Thieves' Town in this case.
Yeah, potentially Smith Chain into like down to Hype Cave and Bombo's Tablet, and then I'd have to assume over to, we could easily end up at Pod at the end.
Looks like we are heading back over to Desert.
Yeah, so this is definitely a desire for that lamp, just knowing what it locks.
Yes, Thieves' Town is not being very kind to Gr1nk. The things in there can hit like a truck when you're on green mail.
And still nothing really out of Thieves Town. Definitely nice to knock out our second pendant. Or, I don't know, is that nice? Do we want to take down 2 pendants?
I suppose that will depend quite a lot on what's on pad.
Well, and given that our third pendant is Ice Palace, there's some chances that it's required.
Alright, we're not on script with Blind, we're using sword beams to hurt him.
And we still have plenty, we have probably enough magic to get through this fight, even if it goes a little off the rails. And yep, there we go. A little more off the rails than I would have hoped, but still, Grink taking down Blind. Unfortunately, it's just the compass. So I believe that does leave an item in the big chest.
Yes, I think so. Alright, so we're going to see the Death Mountain this time on Scottish Brave's side. I have to say, I just find Gr1nk's palette so hideous.
I will, I'm not much for the palette shuffle. But I will say, in general, I think the palette shuffle's gotten better. Palette shuffle used to be really quite a mess more than this.
Alright, we've got ether tablets producing some bombs. And here we go, Grink's going into the smith chain, so we'll be getting that bow fairly shortly.
Yeah, and I think this really just perfectly lines up for Gr1nk to do, you know, smith chain, possibly purple chest, so might miss the tempered sword for now, but smith chain into pot eastern. And that's where we got Bombos, okay.
So the winners have got quite a lot of equipment so far this seed, but we're still looking for a reasonable amount of things before the end.
Yeah, in particular, we are missing our hammer, hook shot, Samaria, and flute, so not nothing. 4 items left for go mode at the 50-minute mark is never exactly a great feeling.
It's got me wondering what pod's hiding. I'm sure that one of those must be in there.
Yeah, and while we hadn't seen necessarily everything that Gr1nk has done, I think we can kind of make the claim that Gr1nk is a little better situated just from current progress. You know, it's hard to confirm that as being the case just because there's still so much missing. But I feel like Gr1nk's route right now is just going to lead him better into pod, which appears to be the next step. Whereas,
yeah, Gr1nk has had some good advantages so far this seed. Those early boots and like leading to check lumberjack. It's working out.
yeah, and then that also giving us that single dip into Desert Palace. Because unfortunately, you know, while we do have the mitts and the mirror, no flute to make that a convenient move. We did get a magic bat check from Gr1nk.
And that's the third crystal secured by Scottish Brave, which does put her ahead on crystals. But I'd say Gr1nk possibly still has the lead at the moment.
Yeah, just by merit of having done Aga, you know, even with the 2 pendants, especially Thieves Town maybe not having anything of importance, that kind of, you know, definitely feels bad as a waste of time in a sense. But the Aga clear is really important, which is where Scottish Brave is going now.
And we've got Gr1nk securing his tempered sword.
As we get the Bombos tablet check.
We've got the runners following each other's routes at the moment. Oh. So that looks like are we heading into Hookless Swamp?
It appears so, and I don't disagree with the play. There's definitely a lot behind the idea of just saying, let me get this check in, because if the first chest is hammer or hook shot or something required, and just the loop is so bad to get back to Swamp Palace, this could really pay out.
I mean, I say Hookless Swamp, but yeah, it's the Hammerless Swamp, which is the real big thing here. I guess this is the play chancing it.
Well, and I like the play just from the standpoint of, you have to get around there somehow. Like, and just the route to get here is just that terrible. It's a long walk from Village of Outcasts. And if this is required to lead you to hammer or to lead you to hookshot later, it just helps you that much.
Well, let's find out if it pays out. Like, literally, yes, in terms of money, but not in terms of items.
And luckily, Gr1nk did not do that save and quit, heading up the Hype Cave, and I have to assume this leads to Eastern and Pod.
Yes, I'm pretty sure we're running out of locations at this point.
We said it. Okay, maybe this was intentional to get to the top of the pyramid?
It's a nice spin speed dodge around all of the, what are those moblins?
Yes.
Yeah.
And whatever we want to call the other thing, I usually just say it's like a Venus flytrap enemy.
There goes Aghanim over on Scottish Brave's side.
Now, for Scottish Brave, I think the play is directly to Pod here. Knowing that, Aga is only giving us the flippers, and flippers is not a lot at this point. Like, yes, you could technically do the start of Ice Palace, but I think in this position, you just assume that the actual piece is going to be, you need to head into Pod.
Yeah, and this is a much easier decision for Scottish Brave than it was for Gr1nk, given Scottish has had the bow for a good while. Although if it's the first chest of Pod, then that would be quite interesting. Just a small key.
Now, what surprised me here is I don't know if Gr1nk has done a lot of Eastern Palace yet, and is just assuming that, Hammer is not in Pop or Eastern. I'd be very curious to know for sure what might have happened there, and if we have seen a lot of Eastern Palace already on Gr1nk's side.
Yeah, so I suppose Eastern being full clearable and a crystal. If it's possible we did see an Eastern play in the bit that we skipped from Gr1nk.
Yeah, chat's pointing out we are pretty much evened up in terms of progression at this point and everything that's been done. The big difference is at this point is Scottish Brave having not done Thieves Town, while Gr1nk has not completed Eastern Palace.
Yeah, it's nice in a way that the divergent routes have brought them to pod almost at the same time.
And unfortunately, Scottish Brave out of arrows. Luckily, pod known for having a lot of them.
Having the silvers here, like a minor time save as well. Not a huge one, but having completed Eastern does give that very, very minor time save with the red mimics. I imagine both runners have got to be feeling somewhat behind, even if it's not reasonable at this point.
Yeah, I mean, given that they've both done Skullwoods, Gr1nk did Thieves Town, and really our pendant dungeons have not paid out much in terms of full clearing yet.
Oh, pod is hiding its goods quite well.
And of course, we do know that the Harmless Hellway is going to be just a small key today, so we are not seeing that check.
That is the map and the compass that we've seen.
And we are getting confirmation that Scottish Brave does know the flippers are there, so just waiting to do that.
Was that nothing in pod?
Yeah, and I think I know what that means for progression, and it's not pretty.
Oh, I'd love to hear your prediction.
It's an ice palace.
Oh, that is... Oh, nice.
That is nasty.
Yeah.
This is an ice palace progression.
Well, we'll see if that's... Scottish Brave surely heading to Catfish first.
Yeah, and we're kind of seeing just the power of the hammer, or maybe not the power of it. I don't know. The importance of it is just cannot be understated. Just how much it does open up in this game. Kind of like how Mitts has a similar effect. You know, you can get a lot done without them, with all the other items, but those two items just are that important. You know, we talk about them from a Dark World access perspective, but just in a doing the game at all perspective, it's just that much more.
Yes, and in terms of routing as well, there's so many places that you just don't want to go until you've got the hammer. It pushes you to do more and more of the other things first. We've got Scottish Brave on the way to Lumberjack for the flippers, while Gr1nk is making their way around Eastern Palace at the moment. And we might be getting a pen check here.
Yeah, so if we did see that already from Gr1nk's side and just missed it due to the everything early, this could be important information to tell us, what we're expected here.
Alright, so we won't be coming back for that. Now it looks like we might be heading to Ice Palace, which is good news for Scottish Brave, given that we know that Thieves' Tower has nothing. Oh, we're doing Hobo first.
And of course, the question is, how far do you go into Ice Palace, and do you bomb jump? I'm really not sure how far we take it on this play, and if we do everything in kind of the quote unquote normal method, or we just go with, I'm gonna just go in assuming I'm finding something.
I mean, it's really not a very nice Ice Palace dip. We don't have the hook shot, we don't have the Cane of Samaria, we don't have the hammer. Quite a lot of Ice Palace is potentially unavailable to us.
Yeah, and really, like, we don't even know how much of this dungeon is available to us logically yet. We really are just missing that much. To even get over to to hookshot lock side, to get to cold stare, these are all things we're just missing the necessary components to do it. So really, it's going to be very quick to determine what it is. And I said that hoping it was going to be a very poignant moment when the Pen Gator chest had it, but not today.
I'm trying to think how many chests we've got, like, definitely available to us. It's the one in the freezer room.
2.
Yeah.
Iced tea and freezer are, I think, our last 2 that are definite at this point. Everything else very much dependent upon the keys that we find, and so very likely we might just only have those 2.
Gr1nk also heading into Ice Palace at this point. 2 runners staying fairly in line with each other.
And we do get the Ice Palace bomb jump from Scottish Brave.
Alright, here we are, down into freezer room. Let's see. It's the flute.
And Scottish Brave really thinking about this one, what do I want to do?
Yeah, there was definitely a moment there that was, shall I just leave?
Well, and because what we do know based on this find is Even the right side is out of logic at this point. Right side is hookshot locked. We will get a key from this pot right here, but just based on the layout of the keys so far, we need hookshot to reach right side.
It'll be interesting to see how far each runner wants to push through, having found the flute.
Okay, never mind. Right side is in logic, if I'm not mistaken.
I mean, don't ask me. I'm terrible at Ice Palace logic.
Ice Palace logic with the keys is one of the hardest for sure. So I think, yeah, we're gonna get the bomb jump here, and then rather than trying to bomb jump the berry room, instead we're going to just get a run here across the big yellow spike room. So, yep, our prize was just that flute.
Well, I guess my area is looking good then. We're getting the bomb jump over on Gr1nk's side.
Nicely executed there. Unfortunately, really low on health and magic at this point, coming into the spike room.
Ooh.
Yeah, rough on that one. Unfortunately, oh, has a fairy, so okay.
Yes, did catch 2 fairies in Eastern Palace. Which Gr1nk must have completed, given having silvers.
Yeah, and the unfortunate side here for Gr1nk is avoiding logic in the manner he did has caused him to not get that flute, and having to go back into Ice Palace and just completely go through it again. So this is a lot of time being invested, and we know at this point that flute is something like Mire area. I mean, you get the shed, you get checkerboard, and then you check Mire.
Yes, still lacking the Cane of Samaria, so we can't finish Maya. Although, not unreasonable that it could be, hey, there's the hammer, and the gold sword.
I mean, we were due for progression, like, just to come big time. The seed couldn't keep giving us a drip feed forever.
And we saw blue mail there in checkerboard, and we've rethought going back for it. Flute is in Ice Palace Freezer chest.
I was curious what we were going to get next, but I do like this play up to Death Mountain now. This is by far our densest play. We've got the 8 items on East Death Mountain. We do have Floating Island, and we have Super Bunny, and of course Bonk Shot, Chest, and Hookshot Cave. So we do have a lot of options there, and we just don't have, one check-in pod. We know that Thieves Town does have an item in the big chest, but at this point, especially for Gr1nk, I don't know when we go back there. ScottishBrave did not do Back of Thieves, but even that I feel is a play we don't see for a long time.
No, absolutely not now that you've got the hammer. I mean, I think maybe I'd have been tempted to go and do pod, just because that's a check you've got to go and do at some point anyway. And it doesn't really matter whether it's now or later. But I like the mountain play. Hey, Cane of Samaria.
And a fully clearable Turtle Rock incoming. We are just a hook shot from go mode at this point. So realistically, at this point, Gr1nk is not too far behind, but definitely, I think, had a little bit of a lead heading into, or was a lot closer heading into Ice Palace, at least. And this really, just the little miscue in Ice has really shifted the balance a little bit here.
Yes, agreed.
And really, I think that, the dangers here for Gr1nk, get the hammer for sure out of Mireshed. If we see Gr1nk make a play into Misery Mire even, this could really become a problem.
Yes. Knowing that the Samaria is sitting up there on Death Mountain. We've got a mushroom in Paradox Cave. Everyone's favourite item to find late game. Half magic.
Yeah, half magic's really good at this point. I mean, it's not. We're definitely getting armed pretty extensively, so not like we need it, but nice to have.
Yeah, I mean, we're ahead of a Turtle Rock play here, in which case half magic is always very nice to have on hand.
So, and it looks like Gr1nk is gonna, we're gonna get that checkerboard into Death Mountain quite possibly, unless this becomes into Pod as the other possibility. But yeah, it doesn't look like Gr1nk had any desire to go to Mire yet. And both of our runners having those second thoughts about Blue Mail.
I mean, the blue mail is the best mail. I'm very much enjoying the blue Charizard.
Now, at this point, if you're hoping for some truly bad scenarios, there are some places that could be bad. Obviously, we're going to see Turtle Rock clear first, and this is probably the best play we have available. But what we do also have, of course, is Ice Palace is now clearable. And we also have the ability to get through most of Swamp Palace. So either of those could have our hook shot.
So Gr1nk's going for the pod play, get that out of the way. And this does open up the pyramid.
Yeah, we hadn't seen Pyramid Fairy yet, so this will be Gr1nk's second 5/6 crystal. And I don't know, would finding the hook shot be more of a detriment to Gr1nk on this play or benefit? I'm really not sure at this point.
So Gr1nk's got Swamp Palace, Turtle Rock and Mire left to do. So finding the hookshot on Helmasaur gets you to go and potentially full clear Swamp. But you'd probably go to the mountain pretty sharp after that.
Yeah, I think what I see here is, if this almost feels like a play to beat Helma to get to Pyramid Fairy, and that's my worry here, is that, if hookshot is there, great in the moment, but I think in the long run it almost hurts Gr1nk because we'll see a full clear of Swamp Palace, when for Scottish Brave that would mean a go moodable Swamp Palace.
Yes. We got to see Scottish Brave using the oh no, I don't have the hookshot loop.
Yeah, that's never The oh no is saying it nicely. Yeah, I mean, we're tied up 3 crystals apiece, so this is not a huge difference in either direction. But just based on Scotch Brave's route, this is starting to really pay out.
Yes, I think the hookshot location is going to matter quite a lot here. Still plenty of places it could be. But depending on where it is, one of our runners could be at a very good advantage here.
Yeah, and realistically, it seems more likely that Turtle Rock is the play just because there's so much that was up on the mountain to begin with.
And Gr1nk takes down Helmasaur, gaining the 4th crystal.
And the blue boomerang, so unfortunately that was not our item. But we might see the pyramid now from Gr1nk. Is that a giant Charmander?
Yes, the Charizard bunny is very cute. We are heading straight up to the mountain from Gr1nk as well, so that pyramid in the back of mind rather than the front.
Yeah, and that could have just been a safety play, hoping maybe Cane of Samaria was on Helma. You know, keeping in mind, hey, there's a 4th item on Helma. It's not going to really get that much more convenient to go do that dungeon.
Right, Gr1nk's seen that Cane of Samaria sitting there, heading to it while Scottish Brave checks out Mimic Cave. Mimic's being distant.
Yeah, and there's definitely an interesting play to be made here on this one. If we see Gr1nk pick up Samaria and head right into Turtle Rock, this becomes a new race, especially if Hookshot is here in Turtle Rock. Gr1nk could exit Turtle Rock either right on, like, this could be a tie or really, really close, just because of the fact that Gr1nk already has done Palace of Darkness. Realistically, Gr1nk can skip all of Light Death Mountain.
Yes, we're seeing the Bonk chest of Hookshot Cave because on your way through it, why wouldn't you? Oh, we've got Constellation Arrow out of a chest in Turtle Rock on Scottish Brave side.
And of course, you know, if it's not here in Turtle Rock, Gr1nk will full clear the mountain, but there is a time save possible for Gr1nk if he goes into Turtle Rock right now.
Looks like we might be getting our Dark Mountain checks out of the way. Maybe not the Light Mountain checks, we shall see.
And Laser Bridge, really not a great set of checks this time.
No, that was a disappointing showing. But I believe we did see both the map and the compass on Laser Bridge there.
Yeah,
so we'll have to see if Gr1nk has got any goodies.
but Gr1nk is heading into Turtle Rock before doing the Light Death Mountain stuff. So we'll not have half magic, but with Gold Sword, I don't think you worry too much about it. Nice one cycle there with the first phase of Gr1nk.
Yeah, it's very relaxed run so far, as you would expect with the Gold Sword.
And down goes Gr1nk for Scottish Brave for crystal number 4. And I think the only thing really left here on the mountain is Spike Cave, so I have to assume we're going to see that from Scottish Brave now.
And it puts us in an interesting position because we still have not seen the hook shot.
And I say that, but I'm wrong, because why not?
I mean, to be fair, Spike Cave, you just don't want to go to Spike Cave. Although, I'd be thinking a lot more about it given the early Cape and Cane.
Yeah, we've had a lot of invincibility that just hasn't been required.
It might be that Spike Cave has just been overlooked here.
Yeah, I mean, going full dungeon mode at this point for one item, you know, we get to see Pod. Scottish Brave's going to head to Mire next, I have to assume. And then if it's not that, it's anyone's guess as to what the actual answer is.
I feel like we've seen quite a lot of the overworld already, just because of how late the hammer was. I'm trying to think of what else is there apart from your dungeon plays.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the Pyramid Fairy, we've got Hammer Pegs, we've got the Thieves' Big Chest. We, of course, have Cold Stare and right side of Ice Palace for the green pendant as well. So we've got some other options, but they're not close to each other. These are all, I think, all the locations that nobody wants to go back to anymore, because every double dip does not feel like a good use of your time. And yeah, just to kind of give an idea of what we have done up to this point, or what got us to this point, we did every mitts check and mirror check without hammer before having to go into hammerless Ice Palace for a flute. Like, there was not a single logical check not done before going into ice on at least one runner's screen. We saw Gr1nk do Thieves. We saw Gr1nk also go into the first check for Swamp Palace. So we've seen everything.
Scottish Brave securing 5th crystal at 1 hour 28, and we are not in go mode.
I promise this is open mode. You know, this is the much quicker than cross keys mode.
So we're heading straight to Maya, which makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, stick to dungeons. Hopefully, you know, this has it, and if not, then we start making the rough choices. And it was Ether for Meyer.
Ooh, Cane of Burner ran out just before Gr1nk got to the last chest on Laser Bridge there. So instead, Gr1nk takes advantage of the high heart counts to just tank the laser with their face.
Yeah, and unfortunately no magic to use Samaria for this switch room. But we are through it and getting ready to fight Trinex on Gr1nk's side for also crystal number 5.
We've got a small key as our first check in Maya. I think this would be a bad seed to find the big key in that chest.
I have a firm belief that you only get Godmire when you don't want it. It very rarely happens that you actually get the big key early when you're in a seed and you're just like, let me go, you know.
No, you've got to go and do cutscene chest in that case. And there we go, Trinex down. So both runners have made it to their 5th crystal.
Yeah, and the unfortunate side here, it looks really close just because the crystal count is tied up again. But I think we're going to see all of Light Death Mountain for Gr1nk, so it would be very, very risky for Gr1nk to leave Light Death Mountain unchecked.
Yeah, Paradox Cave being so dense, you don't want to leave that behind when you're looking for something like the hookshot. Especially with when you're looking for the hookshot, it's really awkward to get back to. And I believe we saw the first fire-locked chest of Maya had the big key in it.
Correct.
Which I believe logically means this has to be an item.
That or map or compass, I guess. Although I think, can this be a small key? I don't know. Well, it's the map.
Now, Gr1nk's nearly done with Paradox Cave, so we'll see where they're inclined to go next. And there's the hookshot.
That is the go mode. So just shy of 1 hour and 33 minutes, Scottish Brave has entered go mode.
Gr1nk following quite rapidly into Maya. So Maya routing could make a big difference here. Depends if Gr1nk is the sort to try and skip cutscene chests as long as possible.
Yeah, and if, I think from the standpoint of, what's kind of made a difference here to give Scottish Brave this little bit of a lead right now. This isn't massive, but it is a nice little extra at this moment. Is just the fact that, while Scottish Brave did not have the boots for quite a while compared to Gr1nk, Gr1nk did Thieves Town. and that time spent in Thieves Town will not be the longest because it was done with the boots. It's still going to, it still is a lot of time.
Yeah, that was a reasonable time commitment that could have paid out big, but in this case, just didn't. There we go. Vitreous going down easy with the silver arrows. Securing Scottish Brave the 6th crystal. Is that the 7th? No, 6th. We've still got Swamp Palace to do.
Yeah, and good point from chat. The other big issue, of course, for Gr1nk was the Ice Palace soft lock that occurred by bomb jumping to hookshot lock side.
Yes, it turned out that without a hammer, there was no way back. And Scottish Brave gets to fully go mode Swamp Palace here, which is very nice. I think Swamp is one of those dungeons where it just feels nice to be able to go mode it.
Every time, agreed.
Alright, we've got Gr1nk heading right in Maya, while Scottish Brave is flooding the first of the hallways. I mean, it would have to go seriously wrong at this point, I think, for Scottish Brave to not secure the lead that she's got at the moment.
Yeah, this is going to be at least a few minutes. I'm not sure exactly how long, but quite it's more than I think even GT routing can make up easily.
We're seeing some bomb diamond hand strats.
Nicely done on that.
Absolutely ignoring every chest on the way past here. Given gold sword and silvers, there's not really anything that you'd be looking for anymore. There goes most of Argus. And there goes all of Argus. Nice silver arrow to end the eyeball.
But here we go, up to Gr1nk's tower with our 7 crystals. As always, We've got 22 chests in Ganon's tower. Where's the big key?
I'd like to think that, given the way that this season's messed our runners around, that at least GT will be nice to them.
One can hope. Meanwhile, Gr1nk taking down Vitreous for crystal number 6. So yeah, there's a bit of a lead here. We'll see. I think GT routing can help, but I don't know if that's enough on the difference.
We've got an even or odd prediction going here, so gamble away.
Yeah, we will try to monitor roughly when Gr1nk enters GT as well to see what kind of time difference we're talking here.
Yeah, Scottish Brave opening it up at about 1:40:30. Okay, nothing out of Hope Room.
Yeah, and Scottish Brave going with the strategy of hitting Hope Room to go, I'm guessing, full left at this point. We get another small key on the torch. But that is check number 6, so a very kind big key.
Yes, that is going to do Gr1nk no favours whatsoever.
And just looking over chat, it looks like Sorcerer Finch was correct on that guess. Yeah, unfortunately, that really does not do Gr1nk any favors to try and catch up here.
Gr1nk not quite getting the diver down there.
Unfortunately, on that most recent one, just a little too far to the left when setting the bomb. But there we go on that diver down. Scottish Brave is now in the gauntlet.
And as our runners progress through their dungeons, this would be a good time for anyone to get a follow in on both of these fantastic runners, having run a very good race so far with a very unkind seed, to be fair.
Yeah, this has been, this is the kind of seed you don't necessarily like to see. You kind of almost expect, hey, it's open mode, we're going to have relatively nice. We can get away from the 2.5 hour, I'll say, slog of cross keys at a time. But yeah, this one has not been the nicest.
Also a shout out to our tracker today, Pi, who's doing a wonderful job down there trying to keep everything working, the real hero behind the scenes.
Yeah, especially given how how the early portions of this one were a little tougher to track, given the stream delay issues we had. So very much appreciated. And it has been a pleasure working with you today, Plasma Snake.
Yeah, this has been fantastic. Alright, Scottish Brave making short work of GT. Very smoothly through the gauntlet. And we've got Gr1nk catching up and climbing the mountain at this point.
Yeah, and it's looking like probably about a 5-minute difference, or a little more than that even.
Gold Sword Moldhorn, very, very quick.
It's kind of funny, you know, the only thing we haven't really collected any of is shields.
Oh, that's a unfortunate dead rock. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Shields. One empty spot on the tracker. Everything else has been found.
And of course, if you missed the beginning of this race, where we kind of set up a little bit about the meaning for this one, this is a meeting between our first and second place teams in the Castle Tower division. So this really does have a lot of implications for the playoffs. The third and fourth place teams are both at 3 losses right now, so which is just one behind last Locationeers, while yet another Bonk only at 1 loss for the season, looking to get their second, which really just means this division continues to get tighter.
So we've got 5.5 minutes roughly for difference between Gr1nk and Scottish entering GT. And here we are. Gold sword, silvers. I imagine it'll be a short downfight.
I mean, 12 hearts and blue mail. I'm just kind of surprised how few hearts we found, but interesting.
Making use of the cape there quite nicely for safety. It looks like, unfortunately, Gr1nk has gone right in GT, which is only going to push them further back. Just missed out on the torch bluch there, but we've got silvers.
Yeah, nice. That's 3 hits now. Just has that 1 left. And that'll do it. And get those GGs in chat for Scottish Brave, who finishes in first place overall with a 147.45. Meanwhile, Gr1nk into the Stalfos room. We'll get that big key momentarily. As we are now joined in the comm booth by Scottish Brave. GGs.
GG.
GG's, thank you very much.
I saw in the race room there was a little concern about your mic, but there we go. It all works now. Quite the seed. But Gr1nk is working through the gauntlet. Hopefully Scottish Brave is there. I know we did hear a little bit, but could still be having some microphone issues. I'm not entirely sure.
Seems like we are having some issues.
Yeah.
Gr1nk having a bit of a rough climb in the gauntlet here.
Yeah, luckily having that potion.
Got the gold sword strats on Lambo too. I liked that first spin. That was good. Nice triple hit there.
Yeah, especially if you're gonna wait in the previous room, or that's almost the argument for waiting in the previous room, is to easily set up that triple spin.
We're just waiting to see if Scottish Brave is going to join us again. Hopefully with some microphone issues resolved this time round. And there goes Moldorm 2 for Gr1nk.
And it appears we are rejoined by Scottish Brave. GG's again.
GG's, thank you. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Wrong time for the mic to stop working, really.
Right. I guess, the easy question is, how about that seed? Whew.
That was the most beautiful seed I think I've ever played in my entire life, Wow. Yeah. As soon as I saw flippers on Aga, it was like, okay, this is this type of seed, is it? Okay.
Would you say that was the highlight of the seed?
Oh, I can't decide between that and the flute in Pendant Ice, or maybe the book in Pendant Skull. Oh, so many good options to choose from. But yeah, it was that was definitely a seed, and then an overwhelming sense of relief when Hookshot was in Mire.
Yeah, the options were not great after that one. We were kind of listing off all the possibilities, and that was definitely the best case scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. I had Mushroom, Hammer Pegs, Pyramid Fairy, or going back into ice, or I had the back of Thieves Town. I was being very stubborn about that.
Yeah, we did see a back of Thieves Town from Gr1nk without the hammer. And obviously at this point you kind of know, hey, there was nothing there, so.
Yeah, I was very reluctant to go in without the hammer, with the small key being at the front and only one actual item. I did not want to leave something in the big chest.
Meanwhile, Gr1nk is on to the Ganon fight, so gonna be able to finish this one up soon. Of course, we did talk about the importance of this game for last Locationeers. You know, putting you now into a tie with yet another Bonk, and really just the whole division at the top, this top half of the division is all within a game of each other now.
Yes, we've got ourselves, yet another Bonk, Clown Routine, and Spaceballs. And next week especially is, so it's ourselves, Last Locationeers versus Clown Routine, and yet another Bonk versus Spaceballs next week.
Oh wow!
So yeah, I think this week is going to count a lot for how next week kind of shapes up. So I think it's definitely not set in stone. Our division is not set in stone yet.
And there goes Ganon on Gr1nk's side. So if we can get our GGs in for Gr1nk at this point as well.
GG's, Gr1nk.
Yep, going to cross the bridge and finish officially with a race time of 1:55:21. We do see that collection rate on your end of 156, and with a kind Ganon's Tower Big Key, that's still quite the collection rate.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how were you feeling generally while you were playing this one? Stressful?
Yeah. Just because I felt like it took forever to break the seed open, because it was just bits like, you know, get this and go here, get this and go here. And especially when I saw Lamp, I was like, okay, so boots are somewhere. Where's the most awful place? Zora. And then as soon as I got boots, I was like, I felt immediately behind from then on. Because I had to go back to desert to get Lamp. I thought, right, I'll chance my luck, go up the mountain. Nope, okay. We'll do Aga. I'll dip pod, and there was nothing in there. I constantly felt behind, and like I was making just the wrong choices. So definitely, yeah, just I was like, my hands were shaking when I finished. I was so happy to get this one done.
Was there any consideration for possibly doing Dark Aga at that point, or just given how little you had left, or?
Yeah, I did consider it, but it's not one. I've had actual training on dark rooms because I'm not very good at them. I don't remember what they look like, so I have to practice them down to muscle memory. And Dark Aga is not one that I've done, so it was a consideration. But I was just hoping against hope that the lamp would just be somewhere before that. But I wasn't going to touch it without boots. So kind of luckily I saw lamp before boots. But if I'd got boots first, I might have tried it. Might have, out of desperation.
And we are also joined now by Gr1nk. GG's.
Thank you very much. GG, Scottish.
GG's, Gr1nk.
What a seed. Never, like, oh, it's been months since I've seen something like this. This was awful. And yeah, I do share what you said, which is it felt so bad waiting this long for the seed to break open and just seeing all of the progression items. They were so isolated. This was the worst. Like the flute leading to the hammer, leading to the Samaria, leading to the hook shot. That was so bad. And I think it just threw me off because otherwise, if you put that aside with some better luck on the seat, I think I may have won, but yeah, bad luck, bad seed. And even though I got the boots way earlier than you, yeah, the logic just got to me. I couldn't get it I couldn't get it done. I couldn't just finish the seed fast enough. That was really bad.
Yeah, I felt bad about those boots. Really bad about those boots.
Oh, I felt so really so good about these boots. That was so good. Like I got them as early as I could, and I knew it could have paid off. Well, it kind of did because we're just 8 minutes off here, and it could have been way worse, especially considering the end of my seed. But yeah, well, good. I was really happy getting the boots this early, and also getting the Mothra kill with 4 hearts and the green mail. That was really nice. I felt really good about myself, and then the seed giveth and it taketh, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get to see that moth kill. We kind of
Yeah, I'm
around.
sorry. My teammates told me that yeah, my stream just got really bad, and I'm very sorry for that.
It
I do
happened.
have the VOD, so I got proof that I played well sometime in this scene. I swear to God, I got proof.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
still
we were.
think yeah, some hype for 4 heart green mail moth, definitely.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I was really happy with that, and but yeah, otherwise, yeah, it felt. I was really stressed out, like you, and my bladder just seemed to just bother me all the time. I had to pause some time to go to the loo. I just couldn't focus anymore. So I said, yeah, well, lose 40 seconds. That's it. That's done. But just focus next. Next thing, next thing, you empty your bladder. Things will be fine. But yeah, we're down. I think we're equal now with 27 points, maybe.
Uh, yeah, I think we are now. Yeah,
That's
um,
madness.
yeah, and our teams meet tomorrow again.
Yeah, Coxline. I don't know who is
Mike,
going to. Mike. Okay.
yeah,
I think yeah, these is going to be like a clutch couple of matches, especially for us because we do get next week. I think we're just battling the number ones, if I'm not mistaken. This is going to be really close. Oh yeah, Structural Mike, Zinokan and Scottish Brave and Killer App, TJ Mailstorm and Phantom Ryu, which are like the next two teams we have to battle. Really strong players. This is going to be really interesting.
Yeah, as it was said, it's pretty much all the top teams really just facing off these last couple of weeks. Clown routing and Spaceballs getting Captain Catfish, and Link finds a way this week. But I
Yep.
think it was said that next week it's the four of your teams facing off against each other.
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly, and that's going to be really interesting, especially like in the standings. Who is going to be going through the brackets and who's not going to be?
Yeah, really, I can see this coming down to quite a few tiebreakers for the decision.
Oh no! Oh no!
Which means no, it's not a race off, but there are some of those the math behind it is not exactly the most simple at this point, I think.
Yeah.
I'll just wait for somebody to tell me turn up at this time, and I'll turn up at that time.
Yeah, and just try not to stress it out. Just be
Yeah.
be relaxed, play. It's just a game, but you care. The league makes you care so much about this because you have teammates.
Mm.
If it
I
was
was about
just
to say, I think it is that, like, normally for me, yeah, it's a game. If I lose, and that's sad. But because I've got teammates, it's like I don't want to let them down.
exactly. Otherwise, I'll be like, I'll just be okay. I lost. Okay, good. I'll just stream GeoGuessr next and play another game where I'll win. Now I've got two teammates. And they're up like my teammates are yeah, Akailin has 6 wins and Coxla has 5 wins, and I'm just 2 wins, 2 losses. This is so bad. I feel really bad by myself. The tiny little black duckling. But the league is really fun, honestly. It's been a great time. It was it was a really fun seed. It was bad, but I had some fun, honestly. I hope you did. Because it was
Yeah.
entertaining. I hope it was entertaining to watch.
Yes, very much so.
But see,
Definitely.
yeah, I don't know if it was fun, but I hope it was fun to watch.
Yeah, let's put it like that. Yeah.
Definitely fun to watch. Any final thoughts from either of you?
Um, no,
Thank
thank you very much. Well, no, go ahead, go ahead.
I was about, well, just what you were about to say. I think thank you very much for having us. Thank you to Plasma and Radical for commentating. Thank you to Pi for tracking. Thank you to Link to the Past League for putting us on, and thank you to everybody for watching us as well.
Yeah, and shout outs to Amarith, one of the admins, who he answered me about the AMSUs and stuff. Being able to play while listening to the Celeste OST is really really nice. Just keeps my nerves down. So yeah, shout out to him and all of them. He also gave me some advice about the MSUs and the restreams so that we could also do it on the French channels, because sometimes we do restreams one of these league matches on the French channel. So yeah, and shout outs to my Scottish godfather, because yeah, I do have the Union Jack flag and the Irish flag, but my godfather is Scottish, so I'm just playing all the teams.
Yeah, to anybody who was curious about the whole MSU thing, Amerith, she put in so much work on this one. If there is an MSU you enjoy using and want to use as part of Open League, if you are a racer in the league, do make sure to submit the form for it. You need a VOD showing that it does not get muted on Twitch, but if you can show that and it does not use lyrics, it can get approved for league use. And as you hear here, runners really enjoy it, and I think also the viewers enjoy it. So if you have a favorite, do make sure to submit it, and she will get it approved as fast as possible. The list is updated, is fairly up to date at this point on what has been approved and what has not been. So definitely, take a look at doing so.
Just yeah, thank you again for commentating and just broadcasting this awful despicable seed. It was really fun. Thank you for having us. I'm just go to sleep now. I just try to forget about this.
Yes, GG's both of you. It was a good race.
Thank you very much.
Thank you
Bye
very
bye.
much.
And if you want to see more Link to the Past League today, we've got plenty of matches following on Speed Gaming and the League channels later on, so keep your eye out for them. I've been Plasma Snake, and I've been joined by Radical Sniper today, and I'll let him say the final words.
Yeah, just to kind of cover those races in terms of what we have here on the league channels. ALTTPR League will have at 7:10 tonight. We have Saha's Kids versus 2000 Years to the Past. And then also on ALTTPR League, we also have Tipsy Tavern Toasters versus Soggy Tea. And then on the late night, also on League, we have Rando Babies versus Deadly Case of Explosions. So we do have quite a few options here in the Open League. And then, of course, for the Invitational League over on pretty much all the different speed gaming channels, we have races pretty much the rest of the night. 540, 610, 810, 910, and 910. And that's on a variety of the speed gaming channels. So if you haven't gotten enough Link to the Past randomizer, you have a lot of options for the rest of today. And all week, it's going to be open mode as we start to clear up the playoff picture. So very high stakes races the rest of this season, especially here in the Open League. But once again, thank you all for joining us today, and we hope to see you next time.